Hi there, welcome to my channel. My name is Megan. Thank you so much for being here today. I am sharing with you a couple of new items. One is a foundation, one is a face palette, and the other is a new to me mascara. So if you are interested, let's get started. Normally at this point in the video, I would have my hair pulled back and I would have the camera in closer, but today I thought I would try something a little different and I would talk about the products before I go into the application. I went to Sephora because it is the Sephora sale. It's almost over and I wanted to get a sample of the Haus Labs by Lady Gaga foundation. I have wanted to try this after seeing a few people rave about it. I am a little concerned about how it will do with my skin type. Just for reference, I have sensitive skin, I have combination skin, and because I live in a humid climate here in Florida, I do tend to run on the oilier side. So this is supposed to be great for all skin types, including sensitive skin and acne-prone skin. And so I really wanted to try it out. It's supposed to have a natural finish, which tends to be a really nice finish for me because matte is sometimes too mattifying and dewy is almost always too oily for me. So I thought this might be a nice balance. So we will see. I got color matched at Sephora, so hopefully it's the right color. But if not, at least we can look at the finish and the coverage, so that should help give us an idea. I also received 2 items from my mom, which I greatly appreciate. The first one is the Hourglass Ambient Light Edit Unlocked palette. It is the Elephant palette. So this is a face palette. It has 2 finishing powders, a bronzer, a highlight, and 2 blushes. They are very, very beautiful colors, as you can see. And so I will be playing with this. And I also received this Byredo waterproof mascara called Tears in Rain. I have not tried anything Byredo. I have wanted to, but I just haven't had the chance. And so I am definitely looking forward to trying this formulation. I really like the brush. It's a smaller bristle brush, and I feel that those tend to work really well with my lashes, so I'm not stabbing myself in the eye. And yeah, so those are the things I'm trying today. So as I get my hair pulled back, I just want to say that I hope you are all having a wonderful day today, and I would greatly appreciate it if you would like my video and subscribe to my channel. Please don't hesitate to leave a comment. I really do read them all, and I really enjoy, communicating back and forth in that way. You can also find me on Instagram and send me a message there, and I will reply as well. So first things first, I am putting on the Chantecaille Anti-Pollution Mattifying Cream. This I like to use in my T-zone specifically because that is where I get the oiliest. I also think that it helps with my pores and keeping them from, really taking in too much product. It really helps it to sit on the surface. Maybe that's not the right way to say it, but I feel like, at least with your pores, sometimes when they get kind of down in there, you're like, oh, that's really not the best look. So we will see how this goes. I'll put just a little bit down here. So usually in my videos, I have this step already done, unless I'm including some of my skincare. So as my next step, we're doing the Chantecaille Lip Potion because I know normally that's first. And this time I wanted to get that primer on so that it could get into the skin before I try that foundation. Sorry for the pauses. But this is definitely one of my favorite primers. I know that there are a ton out there on the market. I'm actually looking at a couple of new ones just to try and see, you know, if there's anything else that might work better for me. I did realize that I don't have you guys pulled in too close, so I'm not going to go super close because we are doing the whole face and not just the eyes, which is usually what I focus on. So we'll keep a little bit more distance than usual, just in case. I got a sample of the Haus foundation from Sephora after being color matched. I typically like to test a product out at least for a day or two before I purchase it. I just find that for me, that works better. I always feel bad buying something and then having to return it because, of course, now the product can't be used, and that just makes me feel bad. I worked in retail for a long time, and so that's just how I am. But this is supposed to be a lightweight consistency. As you can see, it's not really moving, so it's not super liquidy or anything like that. It is moving a little bit. Not sure about the shade, but we're going to give it a go. I have my Trish McAvoy wet dry brush. I love this because I like to stipple in the foundation. So we are just going to kind of start toward the middle and work our way out. And I am going to put it over my eyes because I don't have a concealer on me at the moment. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm already thinking that this shade is not the right one for me, but hopefully that will work itself out. I believe I have the shade 190, and I always feel like it's hard to tell when you're in Sephora because, of course, they do have fluorescent lighting, which tends to look yellow, and even when you use the lighting around their mirrors in their, like, that little makeup area, that was a terrible way of describing it, almost like where they apply makeup, you know, they have the chairs and the mirrors and things like that. Even the lights on those mirrors, I don't know, even mixed in with the fluorescent lighting, how much that helps. So sometimes in the store it can look better than at home. It doesn't look so bad now. I think maybe because I got it blended in better, that helped. Oh, there's a dog hair. But we are gonna work our way around. I definitely think that it helped to cover up that redness. You can definitely see a big difference there. So that is good. Okay, so I brought you in a little closer so that you can see the finish of it. It does have a natural finish. It's not dewy necessarily. It is more of a shine than I'm used to. It may need, you know, a minute or two to kind of dry down. I don't know that the color is the best, but I don't think it's the worst either. It actually looks a little better than I thought. I did try this once before, and it seemed yellower than it does today. But I do think that it kind of accentuated my pores more so than not. So it doesn't look quite as bad without the light, of course. And in the mirror that I have, it doesn't look as bad, but not crazy about that. So, you know, but we'll just keep going. That's fine. I'm going to clean off my hands so I don't accidentally get it on my shirt. The next thing that I want to test out is the Hourglass palette. So this, as I stated before, has two finishing powders, dim light and soft light, You have the Beaming Strobe Light Metallic Strobe Powder, the bronzer in Lustrous Bronze Light. This is blush in Iridescent Coral, and this is Radiant Rose. So I think I'm going to use, I think I'm going to show you these. I'm going to swatch them. I'm going to swatch them backwards though, because I don't know that you'll actually be able to see the finishing powders on my arm. So we're going to start with the rose colored blush. It's a pretty pink. And this is the Iridescent Coral. That is a pretty peachy shade. And I love peach shade blushes, so that is perfect for me. We have the bronzer, which is a nice light golden color. The highlight, oof. You'll definitely be able to see that from a distance, but I don't think that it's necessarily, you know, across the universe type shade, which is nice because I don't think I've ever used highlighter on my channel. That is a very light powder. And so is that, but you can tell that there's a little bit of a difference in the two. So I guess it just depends on how you feel that day. But it's a very pretty palette, definitely is. So we will use a lot of these. I was even thinking that because I didn't include eyeshadow for this look, that I may just use one of the blushes on my eyelids to give a little bit more of an ethereal kind of, you know, monochromatic look. Now, this palette by Hourglass is part of their 2022 holiday collection. There are two other palettes, I believe. One is the tiger and the other is a butterfly. So depending on the shades that you're interested in would determine which palette would work best for your skin tone. But this is the one I have. So it has been just a minute or so, and my skin still looks fairly natural, radiant, you know, without being overly done. But I do have, it is a little humid today, and so I just want to put a little bit of powder on, and I didn't see anything on the website about not using powder with it, so I may just try and mix these two, just to put a little bit on and, you know, get right here in that T-zone, down the nose, and just over here on the pores a little bit, because that is where I tend to get the most oily. So I think it did help a little bit with the shine, but it didn't change the color or do anything like that. So I'm actually going to put bronzer on first. I don't know a lot about blush or bronzer. I've always been intimidated by both, which I think is another reason why I have such a light hand when it comes to applying makeup, because I'm always afraid of using too much. Especially having the little bit of redness in my face. I've always felt like, well, there's no need for blush. There are times when I do want to wear blush or, you know, add a little bit of dimension to my look. So I'm going to take my brush and go into the bronzer shade, and I'm going to start at my hairline and warm up the complexion there. Again, I am trying to be very light-handed so that there isn't, you know, too much, because it is harder sometimes to, take color away without having to wash your whole face. So don't want to do that. And then we're going to apply it right here on the cheekbone, because that is the part where the sun would hit you. I'll even take a little splash across the nose there. So it is light, and I could probably deepen it even more if I really, really tried. I just don't want to overdo it because I don't wear a lot of bronzer, so I don't want it to necessarily look like I'm trying too hard, if that makes sense. But we will try and warm that up, but I do think that helped warming everything up. So that's pretty without being overly done. I can tell a difference. I sure hope you can. Because I can hear Shelly. If you're familiar with the beauty goddesses, you'll know who I'm talking about. And I can hear her saying, Megan, I don't see anything. So I'm trying. I am, I promise. So, but I do think you can definitely see that for sure. So, now that that is accomplished, I am going to take the iridescent coral shade, and I'm going to put that a little bit more right on top, but also on my cheek. We'll take just a hint more, because we also don't want that to be too much. And that is a really pretty shade, and the colors complement each other really well, so that's nice. And last but not least, we have the highlighter. Now, if you have watched any of my videos, you know I don't use highlighter, but we're going to do it today, and we're going to be a little bit on the light-handed side, because now I know I've seen people do it to where it's kind of a crescent here. And it just kind of goes right here on top and around the eyebrow to give some, I apologize, the camera is going out of focus a little bit. And I think that foundation is, no, it's not in the lines like I thought it was. But you can see a little bit of that highlight. It's very light, of course, because I did it light-handed, but it is pretty, and it goes well with that bronzer. They definitely match these colors very well. That's really pretty. So, just to add, I mean, you don't have to put anything on the eyes if you don't want to. I just thought it might be fun to play with the colors. So, I'm just going to take a fluffy brush and dip into that pink shade and add a little bit of color there. Ooh, that was definitely more than I meant to. So now I have to make sure to put just as much over here. Yeah, that one is a little more pink, so we're going to add a little bit more over here. But that's the other nice thing about face palettes, is depending on the shades that are in it and, you know, how much pigment you can build up to, you can use them on your eyes, you know, and then you only have to take the one palette if you go on a trip, especially if you're just going somewhere overnight. You don't want to take a lot with you, but maybe it's a special occasion and you want to be able to, you know, have something nice. It is it is nice to have something that's versatile. And they do make palettes that have eye and cheek products or eye and face products so that you have that ability as well if you want something like that that's more versatile. Kind of a one-stop shop. You don't have to mix your products. Just depends on what you like, what you don't like, what works best for you and your time. So we just added a little bit of bronzer to try and help add some dimension in there with that pink. But I think the pink is fine by itself, really. I just wanted to play some more with the colors. Since I don't 100% know what I'm doing, I just thought that'd be fun. So we did foundation, we did the face, and now it's time for mascara. So I think that looks pretty good. I really like the colors together. I like the color story that it has. I think on my skin tone it looks well, but it is nice and kind of neutral. This is definitely more bronzer and blush than I would normally wear, but I did want to make sure that you could see it on camera, and I think you can see that dimension in there without it looking overdone. So that's good. So now we're going to try this mascara. I'm going to go do it off camera. Because it is, I think, sometimes odd when someone's eyeball is right there in the middle of your screen. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have done my right eye, which I'm sure you can tell just by me coming back on camera. Wow, the difference in those two, I think, is amazing. Now, would I say that it's the most separated? No. Did it clump? I don't think it clumped anywhere, but my lashes are not as separated as these are. But I still think that's okay. There's still enough range where it doesn't look spidery or it doesn't look chunky or, you know, like it's incorrect. So, wow, that's beautiful. The fact that it is a waterproof formula is fantastic. I believe the website actually says that it is sweat-proof, swim-proof, and tear-proof. So, let me go do that other eye. Okay, so that is both eyes. That really added some definition. Oh, you can see I got some mascara on my eyelid there. I'll have to get that off. That's what Q-tips are for, right? I just think that that is very, very pretty. Now, it is a wet formula, and it probably is going to take a few seconds, maybe a minute to dry. So you definitely want to be careful not to sneeze or you will have some cleanup. But, you know, we've all been there, right? So I think I can put my hair down, get these clips out. So my hair actually looks pretty good today. I kind of wear my hair the same way most of the time. You know, sometimes I'll do a bun, sometimes I'll French braid it, because I did try and teach myself how to French braid during the pandemic. And I've got some fairy hair in there right now, which is pretty. Just, you know, different, something different. But yeah, I really like this look. I think it's natural and it's radiant, and I think that I just look, I don't know, it just makes me happy. I think it looks great. I really love this look. So to finish off the look, because I do want to keep everything neutral, I have my Tone lip liner by Chantecaille. This is one of my favorite shades and lip liners. And I am going to make this a little bit darker. And I'm going to use the new Chantecaille Lip Chic in Orchid from their fall collection. don't want to overdo that. I do like the brightness of it. And it is a little buildable, but I just think that's pretty. It's refreshing. Maybe it would be better for spring, but I think, you know, here in Florida, it's always warm. It's always a little humid. So, and you can wear whatever you like, you know. Don't feel like you have to conform to certain colors or thoughts or ideas just because the seasons change or anything like that. I know, you know, there used to be a lot of fashion rules, and over time people have started to break those rules and change them. And sometimes, I admit, I get stuck in those. There's certain colors I don't like to wear together, or, you know, I might still have trouble wearing white after Labor Day, even though I live somewhere where you can still go to the beach in December, depending on the weather. So I totally understand that. You do whatever feels good to you, whatever makes you feel your best. Because when we can feel our best on the outside, it really does help improve our mood, and it really can help improve our mindset. And so one of the ways I like to do that is to play with makeup and just to find something that helps make me feel good about myself. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of your time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Please leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Find me on Instagram. We can chat over there. And if you have any questions, or if you're interested in a certain product or brand and you'd like me to try it out, let me know. I can't guarantee that I will jump on it right away, or that it's, you know, something that I'll do immediately, but hopefully over time, as time goes on, I will be able to incorporate some new products and, you know, be able to discuss those with you. But until then, have a wonderful day. Please take care of yourselves, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.